Porinju saying that post-budget, we will be very close to or at high or at the all-time highs. Porinju, it's come in, albeit with a bit of a delay, but no one's complaining. We'll hit new highs today. The question mark is, what is your understanding of how much higher can we go in the current leg? And good morning to you, of course. Thanks for joining in.
Good morning. It's a great day in the stock market. I think a lot of people are going to come out of their skepticism about the country and its economy, the stock markets, because I always used to talk, Neeraj, if you remember, politics is important for the investors, not for the traders, perhaps. But whenever I start a bit of politics, you and Nikunj always stop me. Being talking on a business channel, you should not talk politics. But anyway, what has happened politically is very important, and it's very positive for the stock market going forward. I used to talk a few weeks ago. Indian politics is at an inflection point. Inflection point because it can be a game changer going forward. Because the continuation of the current regime at the center in Delhi, even beyond 2019, is very important for the long-term vision and the projects, the huge endeavors what this government doing for developing the economy much faster. So for that, time is required, and this cannot be done overnight or in a short period of time. So that way, there is some clarity, visibility coming up, how politicians are going to manage Indian economy in the coming 5-10 years. That is the biggest positive trigger because India has a potential. Indian economy is structurally very, very high potential economy. We can easily grow to a $10 trillion economy in the next 10 years.
Porinju, hi, morning. Since you're an ace stock picker, how do you derive benefit from this growth story that India is? What stocks and companies can one look at buy now that the markets are already at all-time highs? One can safely assume.
Markets being at all-time high is not any discouraging factor, in fact, because markets have been, almost every year it has been all-time high in the last 25, 30 years in India. So that way, market will continue to be at all-time highs for next at least 10, 20 years. There could be corrections, some sell-off. And the biggest opportunity investors should look for, the 75% of the market is the market participants are irrational. They sometimes choose some very silly things like Brexit or a US Fed rate hike, or even some people to the extremely, the RBI governor being replaced. Such kind of silly, insignificant things are given so much importance in the market, and the participants that make the Nifty down by 1,000 points. So that is, if you remember, I have been always extremely bullish for all these events, and markets were down 600 points, 1,000 points. So that is really happening. It will continue to happen even going forward. People are not going to change. There will be pockets of weakness. One need not go and buy today in the opening everything. I don't get excited when most others are bullish in the market. But at the same time, I would say I'm very confident. One cannot be complacent in equity market going forward. This is going to be a very different kind of market. It is definitely a bull market, but one has to be extremely, extremely selective in stock picking because the huge revolution, the industry revolution 4.0, this is going to bring huge disruption, dangerously disruptive world is going to be there. So it will kill many businesses and professions going forward. So the being selective is very important.
We are circling in or around those all-time high levels. Now, the question is, Porinju, what happens next? Because there has been a sharp rally in the markets. Do you think that in the immediate term, we have steam for more?
Yes, market has had a big jump, a gap up opening. That's fine. And market will continue to be good. And this 9120 very soon will become the bottom for the market going forward, for the Nifty, I mean. And doesn't mean that market will go on jumping 100 points every day, but there will be very steady uptrend in the market, more money flowing into the markets. Mutual funds are heading for great times. The Indian public, domestic savings, which we always used to discuss earlier, the household savings is going to come in a big way into equities. That will keep the valuation of Nifty and Sensex, richly valued, and it will continue to be high. People cannot expect, the Nifty P coming down to reasonable levels at all. It will continue to be very rich, expecting the future earning potential.
Yeah, indeed. So, Porinju, you've often talked about names like a TCI, you've talked about a slew of other stocks as well, which, investors could look at buying. But now that we are at life highs, what are those fresh ideas that you're working with or perhaps researching and got on your radar?
Aisha, these are the names you are mentioning, like TCI. I was talking about HSAL. These two stocks we discussed on the budget day. They have gone up some 25-30% since then. But I think these are the leadership companies and very relevant businesses going forward in this country. Even Tata Global and Tata Coffee. These kind of some leadership companies in the niche segments. And I am very bullish on these companies much further. They can give some of these companies can give you 25-30% kind of CAGR for next maybe for a decade. So that is the kind of opportunity we are sitting on in Indian equities. And see now this UP election outcome. We cannot underestimate this, and it has got a huge relevance. UP is something. Uttar Pradesh is equal to Brazil by the number of people living in that geography. And Uttar Pradesh is a highly resourceful, it's naturally resourceful kind of a geography. And today Brazil is $2 trillion economy, almost equal to India's GDP. Why can't Uttar Pradesh grow to a $2 trillion GDP in some time? If the politicians manage this economy, this economy and the geography differently than earlier. The potential is tremendous. We can talk about this not only about Uttar Pradesh. Some of our states are extremely structurally rich as an economy. And some of our states themselves have a potential to become equal to India's today's GDP. So what we are talking about, a $10 trillion economy by potential in India. So that is going to be huge wealth creation for the smart equity investors. So one cannot think bearish. If you remember in the last 3-4 years, Neeraj or Aisha, I have never been bearish in the market. Even people was making me scare looking at, the Fed rate hike, Brexit, or Rajan, the RBI governor changing, the kind of silly things for India. Our economy has to grow. These things are very, very small, insignificant. We have to focus on the big picture of the high growth in Indian economy. And we can do that. I don't believe in the 6-7-8% growth in India. We need to grow at 10 and 12%. It's possible not for a very long time. Maybe next 5 years, we can grow in double digit if the politicians manage the economy properly.
Now, Porinju, if we just look at the BJP manifesto that they've given out in the state of Uttar Pradesh, and I would reckon that you can't have a particular kind of manifesto for Uttar Pradesh and a completely different manifesto for some of the others. So let's assume this is the kind of policy that will be there for the next few states and the next few elections as well. Bijli for all, some social schemes for all, a toilet in every house, so on and so forth. I think all of the states in India need that. Is that the cluster of stocks that you can bet on? Because frankly, for a lot of these companies, the earnings beta will come in only after year 2, year 3. You'll probably still get to buy them at good prices over the course of the next 6 to 9 months based on your research.
Good question, Neeraj. But I strongly feel, one investor should not look at UP assets while picking stocks. This is all about India. UP is such an important state for the country. I think it's almost 1/5 of the country by population, and even by natural resources. I'm telling you, it's a very strong state. But there is nothing like UP specific stocks or politics. I don't believe in that. That's only traders may make it in a day or for a week. But I think that's not good. That's not interesting for the long-term value investors. We should look at it with a very different perspective. See what has changed in politics. I'm looking at it slightly differently, Neeraj. There are two aspects when you talk about the change happening in the landscape of the politics. See, development has come to the center stage in politics, which is the most important positive aspect for the economy and the equity investors. Secondly, why all this thing happened? Now, last week, whatever happened in UP, the poll election, the election results, it shows the media sensationalism was a problem in the past. So media sensationalism against the establishment and ultimately against the country is becoming ineffective. That's also a very, very positive thing going forward. So we should expect a strong government, a stable government with a very strong leader continuing in this country, and it can turn out to be a fantastic economy going forward. We all are going to be, part of that, and equity investors going to be the biggest beneficiary of these changes happening in this country. Uh, Again, I think it's a fashion now talking about JP, all these things. I think these kind of aberrations, betting on the politics, immediate or the regional politics, or the short-term policies or the manifesto for the state. I think this will be forgotten after a day or two. Everything will come to the mainstream. Whether India is progressing, that will be the question. That will be the only question for equity investors, and that is positive.
Space that you identified almost a year back, and what a great year it has been for all and every sugar stocks. Now especially the focus is on the Uttar Pradesh sugar mills. What's the call here? Is it time to profit take, or would you say investors can deploy fresh money into some of these UP based sugar names?
Aisha, Uttar Pradesh sugar mills, investors should look for rainfalls, not the politics. Politics has nothing much to do there, Anthony. Even though traditionally people say sugar and politics are related, but today things have changed significantly. Things are going professional. So that way, the biggest bullish point indication I was talking about Uttar Pradesh sugar mills was the good rainfall and things happening there. That is really taking. It has already given a fantastic return to the investors. I am not very excited on sugar stocks at these levels. Everything is in favor of the industry and the companies in Uttar Pradesh, but it can give reasonable returns, but nothing exciting. That's what I'm trying to tell you. See, I was looking at a couple of companies from technology sector. Technology in the sense, the futuristic technology. One is Persistent Systems and Tata Elxsi. I just started exploring them because of the disruptive technologies coming up, and which companies could benefit. A lot of them will be dying down. So I found these two companies, they are doing a lot of innovation and embracing changes, visualizing the future, and they are getting involved in this data analytics and the self-driven cars technology kind of things. Now Persistent has got a tie-up with IBM. So things can turn very big for these kind of companies. I'm just telling two names because I happen to explore them. I haven't yet bought shares. I don't have money. I'm fully invested.
My final question to you, and this is something that I've asked a lot of people in the last 10 days, because conversations with unlisted Mumbai-based real estate companies lead me to believe that there is some pricing power, there are some sales that have started to happen. My question to you is, and there are a lot of measures that have been taken. Budget had quite a bit for affordable housing. Post that, I think we've seen a number of measures being taken as well for mid-cap affordable housing, which is the bulk of housing sold in India. Are you bullish on real estate from here on for the next 3 to 5 years?
Real estate development, true, it has a long way to go, Neeraj. But basically, generally becoming bullish on real estate is not very sensible at this point of time. There are many challenges, and the structural changes happening along with the demonetization and the related events in the economy. That's going to make lives of some of these real estate companies very tough, and the premium kind of projects, they may take some long-term negative impact they may have due to lack of demand. And wherever there was the black money element in the pricing, that sector also is going to be affected. All these are going to make consolidation and the upcoming of some of the companies, very professionally managed, which sell only by white money. Those kind of professionally managed good companies are going to have good time. I think Shobha developers, kind of, good companies like Godrej Properties kind of companies on one side. Even the Anandraj industry, which I used to talk, and not a great performer in the last 2 years. Even that is a company which is, I understand, focusing on the affordable housing sector going forward. Many companies will change from the today's structure of business into affordable housing. to take advantage of the opportunities. So this is going to be a very selective game again. Investors have to watch each of these companies, how they are going forward, what are the business plans, and how it's taking shape. There are but nothing to be excited about real estate companies, in short.
Great speaking with you, Porinju, and thanks for joining in with the celebrations of an all-time high on the market.
Thank you, Aisha.
Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/etnow and don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at etnowlive. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/user/etnow.